And here in the city of Detroit, I personally think vacant land is probably one of the best investments that you can possibly make in the city of Detroit over the next about 10 years. So over the next 10 years, if definitely come and invest in Detroit from a property perspective, but you should definitely look at adding some vacant land into kind of the mix of all the things that you're doing from an investment standpoint. Skip tutorial. So as an investment standpoint, so add some vacant land into your portfolio. I think it's crucial, it's critical. Vacant land, vacant land, vacant land. So that's step one. Step two in all of this is going to be hey, how are you buying that vacant land, right? Where are you getting that vacant land from? All right, and that may sound like, what are you talking about? But vacant land, you could buy it from a couple different places. But at the end of the day, you want to buy it, in my opinion, you want to buy it directly from somebody that is a private seller, right? Because we have the ability to get vacant land directly through the land bank. That's a little bit more difficult of a process, and I think most people probably should be buying their vacant land directly in and through. Let me make sure there's nothing on this screen over here that I don't want anybody to see before my monitor keeps switching over. Yeah, there's nothing up there, but you definitely want to buy the vacant land from a private seller, because through the land bank, they're going to ask for some additional requirements. They're going to want you to have tax recaptures if for some reason you sell the vacant land. They want all these plans and things that you have to do with the vacant land in order to buy it. So I think buying it from a private seller is the best way to go about it. So next step here is to kind of see, how can I sift through and see if I'm buying it from a person who is the primary or the owner of the vacant land, or if I'm buying it through a land bank. Now you can definitely use a realtor, right? That's probably going to be the best and easiest way to get to the other side, to know, to actually be able to effectively buy it without using or going through a land bank, is going to be getting a realtor. So that's going to be your next step, finding a realtor here locally that you can work with, that will kind of sort through and say, hey, I want to buy vacant land that's on the market, that's not owned by the land bank. Super key, not owned by the land bank. I can say that a million times, not owned by the land bank. So in my system here, and again, if you want me to send this over to you, please let me know. Reach out to me. You can shoot me an email at cyrus@matchrealty.com. Shoot me an email. You can reach out to me on any of my social media platforms. I am Mr. Cyrus Wheeler on all platforms. So reach out to me on any and all platforms out there available. But let's look at vacant land. So on my end, what I'm able to do is sift through vacant land, and I just want to look at standard and private vacant property. To me, that's going to be the best vacant land out there and available, is the ones that is going to be through private, and again, not owned by the government. So if we look at private land, and then we go and we sift down to just things here in the city of Detroit, that leaves us with 290 pieces of vacant land that's currently on the market here in the city of Detroit. That is a lot of vacant property here in the city of Detroit. And again, this is all vacant land. It should be, right? Unless a realtor or so messed up. This should be all vacant land, not owned by the land bank. Now, usually in the notes, you can see if it's owned by the land bank. But even, for example, there's a piece of vacant land here. Of course, they want you to pay for it in cash. They want you to buy it just $2,000. in the city of Detroit, you could pick up a piece of vacant land. 30-foot frontage, right? May not be super big, may not be buildable, but definitely some vacant land. If you live in this community, if you live in this neighborhood, you should 100% be buying this piece of vacant land. You can grow food on this land. You can use it for storage. If you want to build like a pool barn or an extra garage space, who knows? You can build a basketball court. Who cares? But $2,000 to own a piece of vacant land, I think, is going to be a great deal for somebody to be able to purchase. And again, there's tons of vacant land. Actually, I think this one is the one that I have. Yep, I have this one under contract already. It's still listed, but I have this one under contract right now with a client of mine. I put an offer in for just $3,000 for this piece of vacant land in the city of Detroit, privately owned. Once he gets to the closing, maybe he owes about $4,500 once all the closing costs and things are tallied in there. But he's gonna own a piece of vacant land with, from what this is saying, a 40-foot frontage on this property. Let's see what type of frontage. Oh, it's a corner lot as well, it looks like. Let's look at the lot dimensions. Yeah, 40-foot frontage. You couldn't see it because it's the way the stream is. But I think it's something that everyone should be looking at. Again, $3,500, piece of vacant land, $4,000, some more vacant land. I think this will end up being the thing that is going to make people a lot of money. Why do I say that? If you go and scoop up a piece of vacant land, especially if you're looking at something with a 40-foot frontage or more, it may be something that you or somebody else in the future may want to build on, right? So if you find yourself saying, hey, I'm going to build a new property. I now want to live in the city of Detroit today, tomorrow, in 20 years, owning this piece of vacant property that you can pick up again for next to nothing. It's, I think, going to be a big deal. Now, looking at the map, I always like to pull up the overall map and kind of see, what areas I think are going to have some of the best vacant land. If you are looking to invest, right, in an area where other people are investing and lots of things going on, right down in here is where I would be putting money into a vacant land type of property and kind of hanging on to it and seeing what's going to go on in the area. All down here in this 48214, 48215 zip code is where you're going to is where you're going to want to put, in my opinion, money into some vacant land if you can. Right, here's some for $30,000. Let's pull some of these up and see what it's going to turn out to be from a vacant land perspective. Sheesh, there's some of these only 30-foot frontages, but some of these you can scoop for just $6,000 in this area where, again, in my opinion, there's going to be a lot of things going on in that area. Do you flip or buy and hold? I do a little bit of both. So if it's something where you want to look at or be able to flip some properties, again, reach out to me. Go to metrodetroithomes.com, put your info in there, reach out, let me know. But we can definitely help with you wanting to flip property or buy and hold properties. Again, here in the city of Detroit, there are so much opportunity going on here in the city of Detroit. So if you want to flip a property, let me know. We also can help with the financing on that. We do fix and flip financing as well to help people be able to get into those programs and kind of walk you through it step by step from start to finish. Vassar. Why do I know that street? I don't know. What's been your average cash on cash return on your past couple of deals? Most people are going to be making about a 30%-ish return. So to give you an example, you may be able to purchase a property for about $60,000. You're going to be putting potentially another $50,000 or $60,000 into the property, depending on how much work it needs. So you may be all in $100,000 to $130,000 for the property. Most of those properties in today's market, if we are targeting the areas that I would tell you to purchase in, which would be our flagship neighborhoods here in the city of Detroit, you would then be looking to sell that property between $200,000 to $220,000. Now, with that, right, once you kind of pay all your fees, real estate fees, all the other costs that are associated with buying a property, you would then make somewhere in the neighborhood of $30,000 to $60,000, depending on how we're able to exit on that property. And that's something that's happening quite frequently in the city of Detroit right now. Again, this stream is more about vacant land. Again, if you want to go over more fix and flip, definitely reach out to me. We can have a full in-depth conversation. I can send you off-market properties as well here in the city of Detroit, in areas that I believe are, again, are more flagship neighborhoods or more up-and-coming neighborhoods that a lot of people are buying in. Now, just another quick little tidbit there. Buying has slowed down a little bit in the city of Detroit currently for people looking to do fix and flip, only because our buyer pool is shrinking a little bit, because some of our down payment assistance programs that really push a lot of these renovations have ran out of capital toward the end of the year. I believe it ran out on the 22nd of November, and those programs really push to bring a lot of new first-time home buyers into the market. And they ran out of cash. So it should be coming back next year. It's been going on the last couple of years, but definitely it is possible. But I think it's going to be more toward, if you're buying something right now, you definitely should be looking to sell it in March, March, April timeframe when that comes about. But again, this is water, by the way. But that is this is water. I always put water in wine glasses to save on plastics. But vacant land, again, tons and tons and tons of vacant land. You want to, I think you should be buying vacant land here in the city of Detroit, buying and holding the vacant land. If that's what you were asking, to me is what I would do. I wouldn't be putting a property on the vacant land anytime soon. But again, if you could buy a piece of vacant land in or near one of those quote unquote flagship neighborhoods, you are going to be in for a great surprise in the future if you are wanting to buy that property, buy that vacant land and turn it into a property in the future, or just offload it and sell it over the next 10 years. So vacant land. And again, I think the biggest piece, as I was saying at the beginning, is you want to be buying vacant land, not through the land bank if you can. Because again, if you buy the vacant land and you buy it through the land bank, the process is going to be a little bit harder. Why would you not choose to develop the land? You can definitely develop the land. I think that developing the land is possible. It just depends on what area you would be buying this land in. And again, you would want to focus on something, in my opinion, with a little bit more frontage, right? You see here, 52-foot frontage. I wouldn't personally buy any vacant land if you want to develop on it, unless it's right next door, side by side. I wouldn't buy anything with less than 40-foot frontages, because it's going to limit what you can build on that property, right? So you want to stick 40-foot frontage or more, but definitely you can develop on it. But I think over time, I don't personally think you would want to buy something today, tomorrow, next week. And so, hey, in 2025, I'm going to go and build a whole new property in Detroit to sell that property, just because how much it costs to build a house today. Now, it takes into another part of what we would talk about is, if you do want to develop the property, I think over the next, again, 5 or 10 years, once the cost of developing a property, once the cost of building a property comes down, I think at that point it would make a lot more sense. But in today's world, where the target buyer in Detroit is going to be under $300,000, is probably not going to make a ton of sense to entry-level cost $40,000 or $25,000 for vacant land, and then go and try to develop that property into anything. I think doesn't make sense today. But that's always the thing that I always tell people about, is you really want to buy the vacant land today, hold on to it, and then show up when its time already with the land, or sell it to somebody else who wants to do it in the future. It would, what's going to happen is people are going to buy this vacant land. And then once people roll in and say, hey, all right, perfect, it's time to start building a bunch of houses in Detroit, then all the land won't be, $10,000, $12,000. All this land is going to be $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, which at that point won't make a ton of sense for the everyday person to be buying the vacant land. So I think it's a great idea. If you have $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, I think it's a great move to make in putting some money into vacant land here in the city of Detroit, in Detroit. But no, that's it. That's all I wanted to chat about. Vacant land. Again, reach out to me if you have any questions. Go to MichiganVacantLand.com. We have a website that kind of answers some questions as well. Like I said, reach out to me. I am Mr. Cyrus Wheeler on all platforms. Reach out to me on any other platforms. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm a real estate broker here in Michigan. We can help you with anything. Again, we can also help you with the financing as well. So if you need help with financing, we can help with financing of vacant land. So if you want to buy vacant land, we can help you with the finance on the vacant land. Again, we can help you with the financing on the fix and the flip. We can help you with just financing really any mortgage related product at all. But again, vacant land, Detroit, super in a couple years will be something that people will look back and say, hey, I wish I would have bought that vacant land. What the heck happened to my video? I don't know. But appreciate it. Jumping off the live stream. Just wanted to